I swear this valve cover looks so good. What is up, everybody? In today's video we are going to talk about finishing your project car and what you need to look out for when actually doing a project car. All that in today's episode. My name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Let's get into it. So after starting this project and kind of getting through it, I've gotten a couple comments of like, oh, this thing is never gonna run again, or like, hopefully this thing like drives again. And, it's quite funny. I get a laugh out of it. But at the same time, I do see projects all the time that go completely unfinished. It's why you see them on Facebook Marketplace, and some people are in over their head. And so I'm gonna try to tell you guys some of the things that I look out for and that I make sure to do so that we can finish the project. As some of you guys know, this is my 830. We are in the process of K-swapping it. And so we have the engine in, we need the wiring harness, the intake manifold, exhaust manifold, and ECU, and then it should hopefully run. So we are in the process of doing this. If you guys don't know, then welcome to the channel. We are currently 65 subs away from 5,000, so if you guys could help out and drop a sub and a like on today's video, that would help out a ton. We are doing a t-shirt giveaway at 5,000 subscribers, so if you guys want to get entered in, make sure to subscribe and comment down below. I will be picking it once we hit 5,000 subs. My first piece of advice is have a plan for what you guys are gonna do, for what swap you're gonna do, for what car. Have a plan set in place before you even pull the motor and do all that. I know that a lot of people get really excited, and pulling the motor is very easy and cheap to do. And so some people just get really excited, and and once you don't drive the car for a couple months, you lose interest in it and it kind of becomes hard to finish. So always have a plan set in place, always know what swap you're doing and what kind of kits you need. And I did a lot of research before actually pulling my motor and before selling it. Second thing that I would recommend is make sure that you have funding and enough funding to where you aren't hurting yourself financially. Cars can take a lot of money, and especially swaps. There are a lot of unexpected costs that might come into the swap. I originally didn't think that I would need to worry about the drive shaft, but now I do, and so that can be, an extra couple $100 on top of the build. So always make sure that you have funding and you have enough of it to where, it can kind of help out throughout the build. I would say, every single car build is going to take at least, a couple $1,000s. I would say have try to price things out when you first start, and then add a couple $100s or $1,000 above what you think that it's going to cost, because it just happens. So have funding and make sure that you guys have a budget as well. Nice. Heck yeah, baby. More stickers. My third recommendation is going to be make sure somebody has done the swap before and has documented it. There's nothing worse than trying to, pave the way and create new things, It's hard to, when you don't have a company that has all the parts to source and everything like that. I know that it can be done, but at the same time, I don't think that it's beneficial for everyone to try to do these rare swaps. It's why LSs are so popular, because they get thrown in everything and everybody has done an LS swap. So at least you have, companies that back you, and same thing with the K-Series. It's hard to find companies and to piece together stuff if there isn't a market for it. And so I would say for the regular general public, it's easy to want to do something crazy, but at the same time, it's very, very difficult to make certain engines work with certain chassis. So I'd say stick to the basics, make sure that it's been done before, and make sure that there's information on the build. So I know you guys might be thinking, how do I have information on this since I'm in the middle of a project? And two of my cars actually. One of them was an E36 M3, and a guy gave it to me. I bought it with that was not running. He did an engine swap on it, and it literally just had the engine and transmission in the car. Nothing else was hooked up. It was from an auto to a manual swap. And so there was a lot of different functioning parts. I had to get the ECU flashed and a whole bunch of different stuff. I had to get a different wiring harness and kind of piece together. The guy gave me the car with like 4 boxes of just parts, and I had to search through all of his stuff. So knowing how scattered people can get and knowing how much work these actual engine swaps can be, I realized that you need to take your time on it. You need to have a plan. Otherwise, you're just going to end up selling it after a couple of years of sitting. And that's not always good. My fourth recommendation is have a passion for the project. The E30 is my dream car. It's a car that I've wanted to own for a long time, and it's a car that I will keep. And so this car, I have a lot of passion for it, and so that's been one thing that has really kept me on. I need to get this done, and I need to keep going on this because I want to get this car running. And it's kind of why I save the engine swap for the last piece. That way everything can be done and working before I move on to the engine. Okay, my fifth and final piece of advice is going to be pace yourself with the projects. I know that a lot of YouTubers and stuff like that, they have a lot of money and it's their full job to complete these builds. But sometimes this stuff just takes time, and it can take upwards of a full year, even if you are, just crushing through it. So some people make it look incredibly quick and easy. Sometimes you see the videos that are builds in 8 minutes, but it takes months and years to get to that point. I believe that the E30 has been down for like three months so far. And I've been dying to get it finished, but I know that there's a certain level of pacing myself and having a set date, but also not trying to get it too fast, because if you try to just crush through the project, you're going to end up forgetting things, not doing things correctly, and you're not going to end up with a good build at the end of it, and then you'll just want to sell it and move on to another project. So make sure to pace yourself. Make sure to have a budget set up and have passion for the project, and hopefully this video helps if you guys are thinking about doing a project in the future. So if you guys are thinking about doing a project or thinking about starting it, or if you guys need motivation to keep going, hopefully this video helps. Like I mentioned, make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. It helps out a ton. We are still making good progress on the E30. It looks great. I'm super excited to actually get it running. I'm gonna be going out to Colorado, and so when I come back, I will figure out the cooling system, as well as we will be ordering some more parts to get that in. So cooling system is next, then we have the wiring harness, intake manifold, exhaust, and then the ECU, and then the thing should be running. So my goal currently is to have it running by summer. But until then, we will keep working, keep grinding, and until next time, my name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Have an amazing day. Peace.